The war began without warning. Jace, a young human soldier, stood outside the refugee gate, his armor covered in dust and dried blood. The alien city behind him burned in silence. The air smelled like smoke and metal. He wasn't supposed to be here. This wasn't even his planet. The War Council had sent him as a peacekeeper. But peace died the moment the invaders landed. The sky tore open, and strange machines dropped down, crushing towers and taking hostages. The locals had no army, only fear. Jace had fought to protect them, but now most were either gone or lost. He wiped his face and kept walking. He had one mission left. Long ago, during the early days of the conflict, Jace had helped a blue-skinned alien woman escape. She had begged him to save her daughter. The girl was young, no older than 6, with wide golden eyes and soft blue skin like polished stone. She clung to her mother and cried. That day, the airbase was overrun, and Jace had to choose. He saved the mother. The daughter was taken. It had haunted him ever since. Now, after years of searching, Jace had a lead. Whispers spoke of a hidden camp deep in the occupied zone. A prison not for soldiers, but for young alien children, those taken and used as leverage against families. Jace didn't wait for orders. He went alone. As he moved through the ruins of the city, every sound made his hand twitch near his weapon. The invaders were not like any army he had fought before. They didn't march. They stalked. They whispered. Sometimes they played with their prey before ending them. A shadow moved. Jace ducked behind a collapsed wall. The narrow streets echoed with soft footsteps. Not heavy like a soldier's. Lighter, quieter. He held his breath. A figure came into view, small, thin, wearing golden fabric over dirty skin. The child stopped and looked around. Her skin was blue. Jace's heart hit his ribs. It couldn't be. He stepped forward, slow, cautious. The girl turned her head. Her golden eyes widened. She didn't scream. She didn't run. She stared. Jace dropped his weapon to the ground. You ... You're her, he whispered. The girl looked confused. Her voice was soft, but cracked. You're human. I'm a friend, he said quickly. I know your mother. I promised her I'd find you. The girl blinked. Her lips trembled. You're late. Jace's heart broke at those 2 words. She turned and walked toward him slowly. She was too thin. Her arms were scratched. Her golden dress was torn in places. And yet, ... she walked with pride. Like someone had taught her not to bow, no matter the pain. He knelt and opened his arms. She didn't hug him. She stood in front of him and looked him straight in the eyes. Are you going to take me to her? Yes, she nodded. Then let's go. Jace picked up his weapon and took her hand. It was cold. She didn't speak again as they moved through the streets. He didn't ask questions. He just watched. Every corner, every shadow. When they reached the old transport station, Jace keyed the panel to open the underground gate. The girl stepped in without hesitation. You never told me your name, he said, trying to smile. The girl looked at him. My mother named me Alia. It means hope. He swallowed hard. They rode the lift down into the tunnels. Jace's base was 2 hours away if the power still worked. He glanced at the girl. She sat still, hands in her lap, staring at the walls. You remember your mother? He asked. Alia nodded. She had silver hair. She smelled like wild fruit. She sang. At night, Jace smiled a little. She never stopped singing. Not once. Alia's eyes shimmered. She looked away quickly. Good. The silence grew heavy. Jace hated it, but he didn't push her. She was strong. Too strong for her age. He had to get her out. They made it to the end of the tunnel. The gate opened. Bright light hit their eyes. A voice shouted, Identify yourself. Jace stepped forward. Soldier Jace Markle, Sector 3 survivor. I'm returning with a rescued civilian. There was a long pause, then someone ran forward. It was her, the alien mother, older now, eyes sunken but still glowing with hope, pushed past the guards. "Alia!" She screamed. The girl stood frozen. Then, slowly, she ran. The mother fell to her knees as her daughter threw herself into her arms. Their bodies shook. The mother sobbed. The girl didn't cry. She just held on tight. Jace turned away to give them space. But the mother looked at him through tears. "You kept your promise." He nodded. "I'm sorry it took so long." She smiled through her tears. "You brought me back my heart." Jace stood in silence while the mother and daughter held each other. The others in the outpost watched, quietly, unsure of what to say. It wasn't every day someone returned from the occupied zones, especially not with a child, who had been lost for years. The mother finally pulled back slightly. Her hands gently touched Alia's face, brushing dirt from her cheeks. Her voice trembled. "My little star, you're so big now." Alia looked into her mother's eyes. "You still wear the same earrings." The mother laughed softly through her tears. "I never took them off. I wore them every day, hoping I'd see you again." Jace stepped forward, his armor clicking lightly. "We should get her checked. She hasn't eaten. She's thin, cold." But the girl held her mother tighter. "She's scared," the mother said gently. "She doesn't want to be alone again." "I'll stay," Jace said, "until she's safe." Later, inside the medical bay, the doctor scanned Alia. She didn't speak. She sat on the edge of the bed, eyes watching the door. "She's healthy," one of the nurses said quietly. "No signs of infection or injury. But there's something else." Jace's brow furrowed. "What do you mean?" The nurse looked over her shoulder. "There's a chip inside her, not human tech." The mother gasped. "What did they do to her?" "We don't know yet. It's inactive for now. But it's linked to something else. We need to be careful." Jace clenched his jaw. "Can it be removed?" The nurse hesitated. "Yes, but it's risky. It's near the spine." The mother stood firm. "Do it." But Alia shook her head. "No, if they KNOW they'll come." Everyone fell silent. Jace knelt beside her. "You know what it does?" She nodded. "It listens, watches. If I try to run too far, it sends a signal." The mother gripped the table. "They still want her." Jace's mind raced. "Then we don't run." A plan began to form. He had maps of the enemy supply lines, knew their drone paths, and where the jammers could block signals. But there was something deeper in his gut, something cold and heavy. He wasn't done yet. That night, as Alia slept beside her mother in a quiet room, Jace sat outside, staring at the stars. He thought about how many children didn't return, about the ones he couldn't save. He heard footsteps. It was Commander Reyna, his old friend and fellow soldier. "You disobeyed orders again," she said softly. "I found her," Jace replied. "I know," words spreading fast. "People are calling it a miracle." "It's not," he muttered. "She's marked, tracked, they'll come." Reyna sat beside him. "Then we prepare." "What's your plan?" "We set a trap." Reyna raised an eyebrow. "Using a child?" "No," Jace said firmly. "We use the chip, feed it false signals, make them come where we want them, and then we break them." The commander nodded. "We'll need tech, weapons, and time." "We don't have time," Jace said. "We do it tomorrow night." Inside the room, Alia opened her eyes. She hadn't been sleeping. Her small hand rested on her mother's arm, but her mind was far away. She knew what was coming. She knew they would come for her, but she wasn't afraid. Not anymore. Morning came cold and quiet. Alia stood by the window, her golden robe now clean but still loose on her thin frame. She watched the sky turn pale pink above the mountains. Her mother sat nearby, brushing her long hair gently. Neither spoke. Outside, soldiers moved with purpose. Jace stood in the command tent, pointing at a map. Commander Reyna and a few trusted officers listened carefully. "The chip will send a signal the moment we cross the outer border," Jace explained. "But we'll reroute it through a jammer. Make it look like Alia's being moved toward the southern valley. They'll follow the false trail," Reyna said. "And we'll wait in the cliffs," Jace added. "High ground traps, we make them pay," Reyna looked at him. "And if they bring more than expected, then we fight harder." Later that day, Jace returned to the room where Alia and her mother waited. He entered slowly. The girl looked up, her golden eyes sharp. "You're going to use me as bait," she said. Jace paused. "Not the way you think." Alia didn't blink. "I'm not scared." "You should be," he said quietly. Her mother stood. "She's a child." "She's the reason we're here," Jace replied. "She deserves a future. But we have to be smart." Alia stood. "I want to help." The mother held her arms tight around her. "You've done enough." Alia looked at her. "If we run again, they'll never stop. But if we stand ... they might." Jace nodded. "She's right. But you won't be alone." They moved quickly. Engineers installed a portable jammer inside a decoy transport. Alia was never inside it, only a heat dummy and a signal booster. Jace stayed close, watching every step. When the decoy left camp, the air was tense. Drones were already circling far above, black specks against the sky. The enemy had taken the bait. Jace led the real team into the mountain path. It was rocky, narrow, and dangerous, but perfect for an ambush. Reyna waited with her sharpshooters. They laid traps along the ridge, shock mines, buried charges, and fallback positions. Alia and her mother stayed in a small cave near the center, protected by guards. Jace sat at the entrance, holding his rifle, scanning the horizon. Alia crawled beside him. "Will it work?" "They'll come," he said. "And if they find the cave," Jace looked at her, "then I'll stop them." Night fell. Cold wind moved through the rocks. In the distance, movement began. Machines crept along the valley floor. Jace saw the glow of scanners, the soft hum of engines. The invaders were here. He whispered into his cum. "They took the bait. Everyone hold positions." Reyna's voice came back calm. "Snipers ready." In the cave, the mother clutched her daughter close. Her hands trembled, but her eyes stayed locked on the shadows outside. The first shot cracked the silence. A drone fell from the sky. Burning. Then all hell broke loose. The battle exploded in seconds. Flames lit the cliffs as charges went off. Rocks tumbled down on the enemy machines. Sharp cracks of gunfire echoed across the valley. Human soldiers held their ground on high positions, striking fast and hard. Jace stayed on the ridge, his rifle aimed steady, his eyes cold. Below, the invaders moved like shadows. Tall, black-armored figures ran on all fours, fast and silent. They weren't just machines, they were hunters. Trained for fear, but the humans didn't run. They held the line. Jace spotted one of the lead creatures climbing the slope toward the cave. It moved fast, too fast. "Unit 7, Jace called through the cum. "We've got a breach on the west wall." "I see it," came Reyna's voice. She fired once. Twice. The creature tumbled down, but not before tossing a beacon into the cave's direction. Jace's heart dropped. Inside the cave, the glow of the beacon flashed red. "They know!" Alia cried. Jace ran toward the cave, boots pounding the dirt. More creatures began climbing from below, ignoring the traps. They had found the real location. Jace reached the entrance. "Get them out." The guards inside helped the mother and daughter retreat through the back tunnel. Jace fired at the approaching shapes. His shots were clean, perfect, but they kept coming. One lunged toward him, tall, bone-thin, with glowing eyes. Jace ducked, rolled, and stabbed upward with his blade. It screamed and fell. He grabbed the beacon and crushed it under his boot. "Reyna," he called. "We're blown. Move to fallback. I'm covering you." Explosions echoed behind them as Reina's team began retreating. The ambush had slowed the enemy, but not stopped them. Jace turned and followed the back tunnel. It led up toward a safer ridge. He caught up with the mother and daughter near the exit. "Keep moving," he said. Alia looked up at him. "They'll chase me. As long as I have this chip, they won't stop." The mother fell to her knees. "Please, There has to be another way." Jace looked at Alia at the device. "We disable it," he said. "Now." The medic who followed them opened her kit, hands shaking. "There's no time for a full operation." "Then do it quick," Jace said. The mother held her daughter close, whispering words in their language. The girl lay still. Medic worked fast laser tool, stabilizer, extraction clamp. Blood touched the floor. The girl didn't scream. Jace watched the monitor. The signal blinked. Then stopped. "It's out," the medic said. Jace crushed the chip under his heel. Outside, the enemy paused. Confused. Lost. "They've lost the signal," Reina's voice said. "They're pulling back. We broke the trail." Cheers broke out on the line, but Chase didn't move. His hand rested on the girl's shoulder. She looked pale, tired but alive. "It's over," he said. The mother wept. "You saved her again." "No," Jace whispered. "She saved us." He looked at the sky, now calm and filled with stars. But something inside him knew. This wasn't the end yet. 3 days passed. The mountains were quiet now. The enemy had pulled back, their signal lost, their hunters confused. For the first time in years, the humans and their allies had time to breathe. Inside the temporary shelter, Alia lay on a bed, recovering. Her skin was warm again, her breath calm. Her mother never left her side. Jace stood nearby, arms crossed, watching them. Reina entered the room, holding a small metal case. "We analyzed the chip," she said softly. Jace turned. "And?" Reina opened the case. Inside was the broken tracking device, now inactive, but full of strange alien symbols. "It wasn't just a tracker," she explained. "It was also recording everything Alia saw, heard, or said." "It was sent back," the mother gasped. "They used her as a spy?" Jace's eyes narrowed. "No, not just that. They were testing her. Watching her." "Why?" Reina sat down. "We found genetic markers, modifications. This girl, she's not normal. She was part of an experiment." The mother shook her head. "She's just a child," Reina nodded. "But they changed her while she was captive. Her body healed faster. Her mind processed faster. Her brain has learned languages she never studied." Jace looked at Alia, who was now awake and listening. "You knew, didn't you?" he asked gently. Alia nodded. "They called me the seed, said I was made special. They said I would grow into something important." The mother held her close. "You are important. Because you're my daughter." Reina's voice grew quiet. "The chip didn't just send data. It also sent signals to something big. We think the enemy used her to open a link to something deeper, maybe to a command AI. But now that it's broken, they've gone silent." "They'll come back," Jay said. "Stronger, angrier." "But now we're ready," Reina replied. Alia sat up, her voice calm. "They wanted to change me, make me a tool, but I stayed me." Jace knelt beside her. "You're more than just a survivor, you're a symbol." The mother looked between them. "What happens now?" "We prepare," Jace said. "Because when they come back, they won't just want Alia," Reina nodded. "They'll want control of her." "Of what?" "She can do." Alia looked outside at the open sky. "Then we show them I'm not afraid." That night, a council meeting was held. Leaders from nearby outposts gathered. Humans, aliens, fighters, medics. Everyone had heard the story. A child rescued after years. A mother reunited. A soldier who never gave up. and a new enemy that was testing. Something far worse. Jace stood before them, holding the broken chip in his hand. They tried to break her, he said. But she's still standing, and now we fight not just for survival but for her future. They listened in silence, then one by one, they agreed that they would build a wall, they would gather allies, and they would not run again. Asterisk. The warning came at dawn. Scouts reported strange shapes in the sky, large, silent crafts floating above the clouds. They were not dropping bombs or soldiers this time. They were just watching. Waiting. In the command tent, Jay stared at the radar screen. They're not attacking yet, he said. They're studying us. Commander Reyna paced the room. They're looking for Alia, but they don't know we removed the chip. They'll search the whole region, Jay said. And when they're sure we have her, they'll hit us with everything. The mother stood nearby, her hands shaking. She's just a child. She's more than that now, Rena said softly. And they know it. Alia walked into the room, dressed in a new uniform, simple, but with the crust of her people on the chest. Her golden eyes were calm. They're calling for me, she said. No, her mother said quickly. You're staying here. Alia turned to her. If I hide, they'll destroy everything to find me. But if I speak to them, maybe I can stop it. Jace shook his head. It's too risky. We can't trust them. I'm not asking permission, Alia said gently. I'm asking for help. She looked at Jace. Can you get me close to one of their ships? Reyna frowned. What do you plan to do? Alia took a breath. They changed me, remember? I can still feel the link. If I reach the ship's signal, I might be able to send a message. Jace stared at her, then nodded. We'll make it happen. That night, under cover of darkness, a small team moved through the trees. The enemy ship hovered above an old ruin, scanning the ground. It looked like a floating fortress, cold and black like a shadow against the stars. Jace led the way. Alia walked behind him. Her mother stayed at the outpost, praying for her safe return. As they reached the edge of the clearing, Jace turned. Are you sure? Alia nodded. Just keep me safe. I'll do the rest. He guided her to a raised platform. There, she closed her eyes. A soft glow formed around her fingers. Then the ship stopped moving. A low hum echoed through the forest. The lights on the ship blinked. Its weapons turned inward, shutting down. Jace's eyes widened. What's happening? She's speaking to it, one of the soldiers whispered. Alia stepped forward and raised her hand. The ship slowly lowered to the ground. A panel opened on the side. Jace moved to protect her, but she shook her head. It's listening now. Inside the ship, she found the main control node, a smooth glass-like orb in the center of a dark chamber. She touched it gently. Images filled her mind of planets, machines, other children like her, still trapped. Still controlled. She sent a single message through the link. I am not your weapon. I am not your tool. Let the others go. The ship replied in silence, and then powered down completely. The enemy never returned. Days later, the news spread. The alien fleet vanished. Prison camps were found empty. Children were released. The control network collapsed. Whatever Alia had done inside the ship, it had broken something deep in their system. The war was over. Alia returned to the outpost a hero, but she didn't smile. She just ran into her mother's arms and said nothing. Jace stood behind them, arms crossed. You did it, her mother whispered. Alia closed her eyes. I just wanted to be free, Jace nodded. Now you are. She looked up at him. Will you stay with us? He smiled gently. If you'll have me. Together, they watched the sky clear, quiet, and full of stars. After all the pain, after all the years apart, they were finally home.